Hey, Queen. I'm Vieira Miles, and this is the Holistic Sister Circle podcast, a show where we hear the stories of soulful women all over the world dedicated to sharing insight into why holistic health is the future and what women should do today to ensure they have the necessary tools and resources to bring out their inner royal roots, assess their body, and remedy any illness from the comfort of their home. Y'all, we are setting the royal record straight, okay? If you'd like to connect with us further, you can follow us at The Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and join the Holistic Sister Circle Facebook group for live interviews, collaborative Q&A, and exclusive training on how to build your wellness dream team. Now, let's dive into this week's episode. See you on the other side. Welcome to another episode of The Holistic Sister Circle. Today we have Alex with us, and she is a counselor, reflexologist, and facilitated coach with over 25 years experience. She supports people navigating trauma, anxiety, and life's transitions, helping them reconnect with themselves through compassionate guidance, body-based therapies, and the healing power of horses. Her work is rooted in wisdom, presence, and deep emotional safety. Alex, I'm so grateful to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome as well. Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome. So without further ado, I would love for you to just share with us, first of all, for those who don't even know what reflexology is and how you leverage horses, and how did you get into this work, Alex? How did it start?
Okay, well, it started with reflexology. Obviously, from my accent, I was born in the UK. And then I moved to Canada because that's where I'm located now about 15 years ago. So with reflexology, I just had my daughter and I was like, okay, how can I bring some income in? So I did my reflexology training in the UK. And reflexology is incredible because every single thing in the body is reflected through certain parts of your body. And we use the feet predominantly because it's a bigger surface area. But you can use the hands, ears, and I'm just going to start some training on facial reflexology as well. So that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and everything corresponds. So I do a specific routine with people through their feet, and it is incredible to aid so that homeostasis in that body, and calm and helping with the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, but it can also help with your hormones. It can help with digestive issues. It can help with stress, sleep, absolutely anything. If you've got any muscle aches and pains, any neck pain. And even that is through my work, is through my counseling work. And I combine the counseling and reflexology. And sometimes people come to me and they've got a pain in the neck, or they've got really, really awful backache, and they can't attribute the backache or anything to an injury. So I'm like, okay, so I work on their back reflex, and I can feel it's tight and it's crunchy. So often it's like, okay, what are you holding on to? Is it emotional? Is it physical? And often we hold on to the emotions in our body, and that comes through the feet. So sometimes it can be with the back. Okay, who's got your back in life? Has anybody got your back? And often those people with back pain, which they can't attribute to anything, they're like, yeah, nobody's actually got my back in life. No. So, and same as neck pain. Sometimes we get neck pain and I don't know, I've got a neck pain. And it's like, okay, is somebody being a right pain in your neck right now? And
This is
sometimes
so
the answer is yes.
interesting.
And
Oh
sometimes the
my
answer is, sometimes they might have slept, on
goodness.
in a draft or in a different pillow. But often people say, actually, yes, I'm having this big conflict with my friend or my partner or my children or even
Mhm.
myself right now. So
You know,
everything, yeah, it's interesting.
yeah, this is so interesting too, because obviously I know like our hands and our feet,
Mm,
they all mean certain things or go with certain areas of the body.
mm,
And I think I shared this with you. So for those of you all who don't know this, I was actually talking to my hairstylist a couple weeks ago, and she was telling me how she had this like little thing on her foot, and she had went and she had, got a pedicure, and she got the one where you put your feet in and it detoxes your feet and everything like that. And she thought it was coming from the water where she had this little bump on her foot. And she said that she had went to a podiatrist, and tried to work with them to help, and there was literally they didn't know what to do. They just gave her a cream and kept moving. And she said it just wouldn't go away. And one of the things that she said, I don't know, but this has to be connected to something. Like there's something in my body that this is connected to, and I need to figure it out. And I remember sharing, I talked to her about you, and I know, you're not in the US, but I just thought it was so interesting because even if you don't necessarily know what reflexology is, you know your body and you know what is right and what is wrong and what is off, which I think is really important. So with that being said, can you tell us just what is in the feet? Because I know,
everything.
I know from like a grounding perspective, if I'm super emotional or the kids are super emotional, I'll tell them to go outside and put their feet in the grass. But I don't really know, I don't really know like all areas of the feet and what area, which area of the feet means what. So I would love for you to share that with us.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And it'd be really interesting to see where it is on her feet, because that will indicate the point. And even calluses, if you have calluses on your feet, that indicates that certain area might need some work. But what I do usually, it's the counseling, so it's cognitive, and then I do reflexology afterwards with clients. So every single thing is in your feet. You've got thousands of nerve endings in your feet as well, but you've got hormones reflected in your feet. You've got muscles, you've got your brain, parts of the brain in your feet, you've got your sinuses, you've got your teeth. Every single thing that's in your body is reflected in certain points of the feet. So as a reflexologist, you do a specific routine, like, I don't know if you can see, like crawling your, like a caterpillar crawl. So every single part of the foot is worked. So every single part of the body is worked. And even when I'm doing things over Zoom with, counseling, I can, as long as there's no contraindications like pregnancy and things like that, I can show a few reflexes to help with relaxing, through the hands or the feet. Yeah. Or digestive issues. Yeah.
Wow. So how is this? Do you know how even speaking with hands too, when people say, "Oh, let me read your palm," what is the difference between a palm reading, right, and
Uh,
in reflexology with the hand?
Palm reading. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't do palm. That's completely different. That's
Okay.
reading all the lines on your hand, and all the lines do is correspond. But I do more on the feet. So it'd be
Okay.
interesting to see if, like, palm reading, there's feet reading
There's some,
like
yeah,
that.
like
But
if there's
there is
some
with reflexology, yeah.
connection.
there is there is with reflexology, but I don't think you've got things like the lifeline or anything like that on your feet. But I might be wrong. I've never actually, that wasn't part of the training. I've never actually looked into that. But it's an interesting
Look,
concept.
I'm like, I don't know, but I just talking to you and I've
Mm,
had random people, and I don't know, I've had random people message me and say, "Hey, can I read your palm?" And I've
mm,
always turned it down because I always thought it was super weird that you're
mm,
messaging me on Facebook wanting to read my palm.
mm.
But I was just like, oh, is there a correlation between palm readings and feet? I guess feet readings, because there's so much that's with the foot. So that's really interesting.
It is, yeah, it is interesting. I'm going to have to look into that more. But I know you can read the feet as to, like I said, if there's calluses or if there's corns or if there's extra, lines on the feet, as to what is under that, what is the reflex that corresponds to. Hmm.
And why would someone want to go this route?
Why not?
Well,
It's
because
no,
you know,
absolutely good question.
and
No, it's a good question. I think I'm having lots of new clients now because
okay,
they recognize that you hold things in your body, and talking and talking and talking. It's counseling is great, but it's a lot of talking and talking, cognitive in the brain. But like I said, we hold things in our body. So reflexology helps to release that. It can help to release trapped emotions. It can help to release anything that's trapped and stored in the body. Yeah. Yeah. So I can go over the feet and I can feel, when you have a massage and the massage therapist finds like a lump or crunch and they like work on that. Same with the feet. I can find sort of a crunchy area, um, and or something that feels, because I can feel energy through my fingers, or something that feels a bit sort of lacking in energy. So I can work that point a bit more. And sometimes lots of people fall asleep during a session, but if you're awake, lots of people can feel where I'm working on their body. They feel pins and needles or energy or heat and warmth. Mm.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
And yeah, this is really interesting. And the reason I asked that question is because I didn't know what reflexology was for a
Mm.
long time.
Mm.
And I remember going to a spa with some friends, and in that day spa, they had a section of reflexologist that you could go and you can,
Mm.
do that there. And I was like, oh, why would is it
Mm.
based on people trying all the things and then it just kind of not working out? And to your point, therapy is
Mm.
just really talking. So after a session with you, I know you say you do the coaching and then you have the footwork right after.
Mm.
What does that process look like for your clients afterwards for that first session?
Um, it's usually an hour and a half. So I've had some people who are so high in anxiety. And unfortunately, it's really sad that I've been seeing lots of young girls right now, like between
Mm.
14 and 16, 17. So they come to see me and so caught up in anxiety with exams and social media and having to be this, perfect image, that they're almost frozen in fear of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or not looking the right way or getting less than a 75 in their exam. If I used to get a 55 in my exam, I was really excited, but at school. Um, so
Really?
yeah. So I'm dyslexic as well. So school was a struggle for me. So 55 was like, whoo. So sometimes, these girls come to see me and adults as well. And afterwards, because they're so in their head and so not connected with their body, afterwards they're like, oh my gosh, I can feel my body again. I can feel my feet. I didn't realize how floaty I was. I didn't feel I wasn't grounded because it has become my norm. So, yeah, just in one session, it can completely change somebody's and reset and calm the nervous system down, and
That's so
reconnect the brain and the body.
That's so interesting, Alex. So for the girls who are between the ages of the 14 to 17, and I'm assuming they're heavily involved on social media, of course.
Mm.
After a session with you, are they going back to social media and having those, emotions ping pong? Like,
Not as much. It's
okay.
almost like night and day. I'm thinking of a couple in particular, actually. And some of these girls come out to see the horses as well, because I do the equine therapy out in nature, because being out in nature is just adds a whole other layer, which is why my name is Alexandra Dunn Wellness, because I like putting everything under that wellness title. But yeah, and the parents contact me and just say it's just night and day how their daughters, the change in them. They're now sleeping better, they're socializing, they're not, their insecurity, they're more confident, the insecurity is gone. Um, and they're out there hanging out with their friends again. They're
That's
not isolating themselves.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's different and everybody reacts
Yeah,
differently. Mm. So yeah, it's very interesting.
that's
But like I said,
amazing.
some of these people I see virtually, and some of them I see with the horses, and then reflexology. Mm. So I do lots of different things. And I do the counseling and the coaching. So I call it coachling. I'm, I'm not
You
an in
just
the
gave
box
us a new
person.
name.
I know I've invented this whole new thing. So I'm not an in the box person, so
I mean, how can you be? Like, you're fabulous. Like, why would
thank
you
you. And I think, yeah, and I've gone through my own trauma. So since then, my practice has changed completely because before, especially with the counseling and coaching, I had my wisdom through being a mum, being a daughter, being a wife, being a this, and my lived experience and my wisdom from that. But when you have your own traumatic experience that literally changes your life, like life and death experience, it changes you again. So it adds a whole other layer of understanding. And I know everybody's trauma and everybody is different. Like if you and I witness something traumatic, we'd experience it differently. Our emotions and our cognitive process would be different. But I think going through that myself has changed the way I do things. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Mm.
awesome.
Mm.
Now, what would you say to just young girls or moms with young girls who may be experiencing, like you were saying, the anxiety or feeling like they have to be perfect under pressure and all these things? What
Mm.
would you say to them that could just really encourage them to try something like this,
Mm.
even if it's not necessarily working with you? Or if they are working with you, what does that look like?
Yeah, I just think it depends where you are in the world, obviously, and maybe look for somebody who's a registered reflexologist. I think it's important to find somebody who's registered with the governing body, and also somebody that does some counselling as well, so they combine the two together. You know, and if somebody in the family is struggling, what I find, if somebody's in the family is struggling, whoever it is, then the whole family is struggling. Because it
Mhm.
impacts everybody. So, some of the girls who are coming to see me, their parents are seeing me as well, because it impacts them. Because I'm a mum, I've got two absolutely incredible children, and I'm also got a beautiful 9-month-old granddaughter. Um, so, and it's the same. It's really important. That how you're feeling. It can impact everybody. Mm. So,
Uh, and
mm,
I'm glad that you touched on that because I don't think, I mean, obviously as women, like you talked about being a wife and a mom and
mm.
and a daughter and a sister, and you have
And the
all these
friends.
responsibilities and you have friends, and you're like, hold on, I need to just like open my eye and
Mm,
where am I again? Like,
mm,
where am I? I'm
mm,
serving and I'm helping all these different people. And sometimes we forget and we might snap at the people that we love or that the people
mm,
that we were supposed to um, connect with and on that
mm.
level. And I know through this, especially with ones who are maybe going through a hard time or they may be super frustrated. Sometimes we do tend to take it out on our loved ones.
We can do.
Um, yeah, and it does. It affects everyone in the house. What are some
Mm,
things? Because I had someone, for example, a really good friend of mine. We actually went to high school together, and she had wrote on her Insta or her Facebook page how she didn't know if she can do this anymore. Like, I don't know if I can keep doing this anymore. And then there were so many people writing and commenting, just sharing, their love,
mm,
pouring out their love for her, and saying, your kids need you,
mm.
your community needs you, like you are, God put you here for a reason, things like that. And obviously, with that and her struggling in that sense, it affects the children, it affects everyone in the house. What would you say to someone like that who just has kind of has a has at this point felt like they've just lost it all,
Mm.
or they can't open up and breathe and move forward because of all of the obstacles that they currently have in their
Yeah.
way?
Well, it sounds like she reached out because I think I heard you say she put it on social media. I'm not sure. But that means she
Yes.
still has hope. So she
Mm,
still has hope. So she was actually, by doing that, reaching out to people, which was incredible. It's if people give up the hope, that's the thing. But if people are reaching out, they still have hope. So, and a couple of other points there is, you believe what you tell yourself.
mhm,
And you see things as you are. So if you could have the most amazing family and money in the bank and amazing house and everything's going right in the world, the sunny, beautiful day, but if inside you're not feeling that's how you see the world. So you see things as you are. So helping to understand that and very slowly get to know that person and what their strengths are and work on their strengths. And also your brain believes what you tell it. So also sort of a lot of work I do is reprogramming the brain into not going down that pathway into the negative and negative self-talk, because you can rewire your brain at any age, no matter how old you are. Mm, you know. So, and can I do a mini exercise? Have you
yeah,
got
let's
time
do
to do that?
it.
Okay. So I actually did a reel on this today. I just haven't posted on Facebook
Do I
yet.
need to show my foot?
No, you can if you want, but you don't need to.
Okay.
That's really funny. You are fantastic. You're so
Just
great.
checking.
So, okay, it won't take long. So this is, and I'm such a firm believer in being your own best friend. So what I'd like
Oh my
everybody,
gosh, Alex, I'm so sorry. Let me grab my charger. My computer's about to die. Give
yeah,
me one
you
second.
take your charger. Get your charger.
Okay, we're
We
back.
don't want that.
I'm so
No,
quiet. Hold
it's all good. It happens.
on.
It's all good. So, okay. And do a nice big breath just to reground yourself. There you go. Wonderful.
Okay.
And the breathing I do is actually 4, 4, and 8. So I always breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and breathe out for 8. Because breathing out for double the amount of time you breathe in really engages and activates the parasympathetic nerve system. Yeah, so it calms everything down quicker than if you breathe in and out the same amount of time. So what I'd like us to do is take just a minute or so and just think of or write down a list of people who are so important in your life that you love with your whole heart and completely and utterly unconditionally. Just think of a list.
Oh, think of it. Okay, I'm like, am I writing this?
Think of it. No, or write it down, whatever you prefer to do.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
So have you thought of a list? So now I've got a
Yes.
question. Are you on your list?
Ooh. I wasn't.
So many of us aren't on our list. So
I
that's so
wasn't
much
on
more
my
exciting.
list, but I love
I know.
me.
Yeah. So it's really important to be on your own list. And how would that change for you if you were on your own list? And what would other people notice about you if you're on your own list? And what would it take to be on your own list? Because, usually and I wasn't when somebody did it with me. I'm like, I'm not on my list. So, and that's a lot of the work I do, putting yourself on your own list. Even if it's on the page, it doesn't matter where. It doesn't have to be in order. It can be a circular list, and nobody's at the top, nobody's at the bottom. Just put yourself on your list and see how
Mm.
that changes things for you, and see how that can, change. It might impact the friends you have. Some friendships might fall away because you are putting some boundaries in place, healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot of the work I do with families as well, and parents and kids. I say, are you on your list? So it's quite
Beautiful.
important, and sometimes that can be reflected through the feet as well. Sometimes I feel the feet and I'm like, these feet are tired. I can just feel energy, and not because you've been walking all day or run a marathon. It's just because the energy is low. These feet are tired. Because their energy is low, because their self-esteem might be low.
Mm.
Mm. And the horses pick up on that, which is why I love the horse work.
So tell us more about the horse work and how does it intertwine with
Oh, okay.
reflexology?
So yeah, not so much reflexology, but well, it's under the title of wellness, which what I do. So I use a ranch near me, which's got 12 beautiful horses, and I don't know if you're a horse person, but horses see a smile. And so often we have this smile on, yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to power through. When inside we're like, want to stay in bed, or we're hurting, or we're sad. We've got all the big, heavy emotions that and we all have some of the time, a lot of the time. And so horses see a smile, but they sense, because we're energy, they sense the energy, they sense what's going on inside. So if we put on a smile, but inside we're feeling anger, we're feeling upset, we're feeling for all these big things, horses might not want to come up to us because we're not being congruent. We're not showing our true self. And so horses mirror back, horses reflect back. So, and it's all about the power of the horse and human connection. Like I had somebody up with me a couple of weeks ago, and one of the matriarch horse, the leader of the pack, who doesn't usually come up, strode straight up to this person and touch this person on their back, on their lower back. And I said to this person, I said, is your lower back hurting? They said, yeah, it's really, really hurting right now. Really hurting right now. So we talked about that, and it was emotional, So,
Oh.
and then I can think, okay, when I do, this person's feet, if they come to me for reflexology, I can really work on the emotions in the back. So yeah, horses are incredible teachers. They're so full of wisdom. Mm. And unlike us humans, who can carry things, like I can remember an argument I had with my husband in 1996, kind of thing, we carry, not really, but that kind of things as humans we can carry with us.
You told me.
Yes, you said in 1996, but horses,
Oh my gosh.
horses and animals, horses predominantly, they don't do that. They might have something frightening happen to them, or hear like a helicopter nearby, swooping down or something, and they might be startled, and then they might do all the licking and yawning to release, and they might shake afterwards, and then it's forgotten, they go back to grazing. Whereas us as humans, we can hold on to that. So shaking is another really, really good thing for humans to do.
Shaking.
Shake it out. Yeah, shake it out and shake it down to the ground.
Dancing.
Really big body shakes. Yeah, I love dancing. Yeah, but shaking is another really, really good thing to do. So sometimes I say to people during a session, not reflexology because they're lying down, but afterwards I might say, have a good shake now. But sometimes in a session, I'm like, what about if we had a shake? And I do things with them. So I'm not watching them stand up and shaking. Let's have a good shake. Let's shake it out. Let's shake it out. Let's do some breathing and let's shake it out.
And they're comfortable with that?
Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're, yeah, no, I'll do it when I get home. And I say, great, okay. But most people, they are, because they know me and they know that's why I often call people participants rather than clients, because it's all to do with being active, right. Participants.
That's so true.
And I do that over Zoom as well. Let's have a shake. And let's do some breathing. So although it's not that one-to-one connection in a room, still, I work with people anywhere in the world. So it's awesome. That was quite impactful. Let's do some breathing. It's always an invitation because it's all about voice and choice and empowerment. And let's put our feet on the ground and wiggle our toes to bring ourselves back down into our body. Let's do some grounding. Let's have a shake. But like I said, it's always an invitation.
I love that. Well, Alex, this was so much fun. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we got a chance to do this.
Yeah, we'll have to meet in person, and I'll give you a reflexology session.
Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna have to throw my foot right up there.
I love it.
So if anyone wanted to connect with you further, Alex, what does that process look like?
So you can email me. So it's just my name, Alexandra Dunn @gmail.com, or I do have a new website. Still a few kinks to be sorted with that website, and that's alexandradunnwellness.com. Or you can follow me, or please follow me on Facebook as well. So again, Alex, and Instagram, Alexandra Dunn Wellness. Be lovely to see you. Yeah,
that'll be awesome. And then just so everyone knows too, if you were either in the Podcast Playground for Female Entrepreneurs Facebook group, or you're part of our Holistic Sister Circle community, Alex is now part of the community as well. So if you're in any of those groups and you want to connect with her, you can do so as well just by tuning in to this episode on YouTube or inside of our Facebook group. Alex, we're so grateful to have you, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Queen, thank you so much for tuning in. It truly warms our heart that you're taking the time out of your day to connect with us. If you'd like to connect with our guests further, you can find their information located in the description section of this episode. And if you found this episode helpful, share with another queen, and don't forget to connect with the Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and Facebook. And until next week, stay blessed. Mwah.